Hello everybody, J.Yumeko here. And today we're back with the house in Fata Morgana. So if you didn't see the last video on Clannad, which I highly recommend you go ahead and check out, is we're building up, okay? We're building up. Give me some time. But yeah, basically allergies have hit me like absolute hell. So if I am sneezing throughout this video, coughing throughout this video, blowing my nose throughout this video, if I sound nasally, then that is the reason why. So I apologize about that beforehand, preemptively. But last time we left off, Jacopo was kind of nearing his breaking point here. And presumably, I'm expecting in this episode to see him actually take action on that, and I feel like we're kind of reaching the end. But the most interesting thing that happened at the very end of last episode, so if you don't want that spoiled, I recommend you go check out the last episode of House of Fata Morgana. But anyways, basically, the main evil bitch Maria went down to the basement to go clean it out and found an interesting message scribed out onto the floor. I already went over what I thought it meant in that last episode, so again, go check it out. But the interesting thing is that she says it looks like her handwriting. So it's very possible that we may have multiple of these, I guess, immortal beings. Although they're not technically immortal, because we know the white-haired girl has died multiple times. But she keeps coming back. So, with that in mind, let's jump right on back into it. Oh my god, I feel like shit. Oh god. Okay. Here we go. What was that? Is someone there? The door is open? Nobody's there. What's this? A painting? Who could have left it here? Oh? Is that me? Why? But my face, it's been cut. No. Ah, wait, so that was the painting that Maria had found in the basement. So this is obviously her doing here. Yeah, because I remember she found that in the basement. Which is another connection to her presumed past lives. Why would someone have this painted just to do this? Who would do such a thing? You're like a witch, my dear. Like a demon. Your very presence brings misfortune upon others. You're cursed. No, I'm not. I'm not. Was it you, Jacopo? Did you have this painted so you could destroy it? Do you really despise me to that extent? Why do you... What did I ever do to make you hate me so? Why? I'm gonna be doing that all video. I'm so sorry. All I'm doing is waiting for you. You worthless tramp. Are those ears only for show? It says this house has no need of a garden. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Silence. It's all your fault, every last thing. Then say goodbye to your freedom. I'll kill you. Does the mere act of waiting impose upon you? Does my mere presence pervert you? Would it be better if I were gone? Would it be better if I left this mansion. If I left you, I don't think I can wait much longer. There's no end in sight. I can't take it any. There is no end. No. I will set a deadline for when I give up waiting. When the project you pour your heart and soul into is complete. When the railroad opens, I will be finished waiting. And then it's over.
Slam.
So kind of a power move by Maria. Okay, is my game muted? Why is it dead quiet? No, it's... What happened? Hello? What the fuck happened? Okay. Audio's fine. Fuck, okay. Why is there no volume? Okay, give me a moment. Okay, we got volume back. Okay. Maybe that whole scene really just didn't have music, but it's so out of character for the game to not have music like that. Let's see. Let's see if we were right. Oh, so it really just didn't have music. Huh. Okay. The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing nearer by the day. That day was, coincidentally, the deadline the two of them had set for themselves, Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as that day approached, she continued to write letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect that she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they were first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With the constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently awaited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune, and that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that fateful day. See with my own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand. The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even got physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. Of course, the very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not in fact taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that burning desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her. "Are you awake?" "It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I'll not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation. And as such, I will not enter your room until you've given me your permission. So may I please come in?" Gotta blow my nose. Jacopo, why are you blowing your nose at a time like this, man? You won't even give me a response? Alright. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, and you don't have to let me in. But please at least hear me out. Do you remember the day, shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon? If you can even call that little walk we took a honeymoon. I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. I'm sure I said things to hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the phenacastoscope, still don't know how to say that, you smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased at that moment. I felt like I'd gotten closer to you. I very much doubt that was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that. Something beautiful would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete on the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of that sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in a phenacastoscope after all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now. But I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, just for a moment, I caught your eye. Even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was, at its core, nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day, I loved you. I yearned to see you smile, as if I loved you my entire life. Fuck. The Pacific Railroad's finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but a railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. A joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute, and the sound of the last spike will be driven into the ground and will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I procured a telegraph so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station, but here you could celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I've made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Oh, fuck allergies, bro. Would you be there at my side? Please, say something. I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did is unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something. Anything. Please. Please. You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. I won't hurt you. I promise. Oh. The door is not locked. Who opened it? Hello? A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtain appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in her room. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes, it was pale and hollow. For the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed her dry rustling. A sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk. The phenakistoscope. It was the one present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the phenakistoscope. But the paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of that day the year before, that there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter. Beneath the ever-rotating phenakistoscope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mia Jacopo. The salutation, written in his native language, translated as follows. My beloved Jacopo, did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave me the Phenakis wheel. Am I being presumptuous? I'm sorry. I thought I would keep waiting for you forever, no matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought that you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I'm not good enough for you. I'm going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, a record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blurred. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry. This was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Phenakis wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. 5/8/1869. Damn. What the hell is this? He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letters she had written, her dearest treasure, her profession of love for him, and above all the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement. You waited for me? How can that be? The joining ceremony is tomorrow. It hadn't happened yet. Why did you have to leave then? I'm here. I came for you just as I planned. The ceremony's on the 10th. A second later, Jacopo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th, 1869. However, due to bad weather and a labor dispute, it had been postponed for 2 days. This can't be. I made sure you were informed. I had Maria. The madam is having an affair. Maria. No, you couldn't. Scattered fragments of memory began coming together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him of his wife's supposed unfaithfulness, and though the letters had not been addressed to him, thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter she mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man, but in fact she had been referring to the phonexoscope sitting atop her desk, still spinning in the wind. At long last, he finally made that connection. And at the same time, he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted. Maria. Never. She never even once betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited, unwaveringly, for me. And I refused to believe her. I caused her pain, again and again. But his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken, and she was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out as they had. But he was much too late. Maria, why? Why would you do this? Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. But she was not in the room assigned her. Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, but no one had the courage to speak up as the master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually, he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he had closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. From within the room, he thought he could sense someone's presence. When he opened the door, there he saw, comfortably perched upon his own chair, a woman. I've been waiting, Jacopo. Slam! Ah, damn! Nice room you got here. Though I guess that's only natural, you being the man of the house and all. All these fancy furnishings. You do know this stuff's too good for you, right? And then me, I get that barren little maid's room. Drives me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Can I be here with your little lady yet? Maria. I love that look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better then? You know good and well. She's not even here anymore. Well, yeah, but I still want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear it from your own mouth that you couldn't keep a leash on your woman. So you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse and start shouting like you always do. Why, Maria? Why would you do this? Why? Why do you think? Because I fucking despise you. I've been trying to figure out how I wanted things to end, but then they just fell apart on their own. The fate is smiling down upon me, I guess. Nonsense! She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony! And I was gonna see her on that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed. That's what you get for putting it all in my hands, for thinking I'm the only one on your side. What? Did you think I'd just tell her like a good little maid? Not a chance in hell. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but you've got the dates different. Absolutely perfect. Maria, is that how you've always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me? How long? How long? How goddamn dense can you be? Must be nice living in your little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next cup of Vermiglia. Oh god, my sides. So you've always hated me? At the very least, I fucking loathed you since the minute we had our reunion. At first I did try to convince myself you had your reasons. Didn't make it feel any less unfair though. You had all your money and all your power and everything else you stole from me. And then you go and get hitched to this pretty little lady. Oh, don't try and act like you're the victim here. This is all on you. Do you have any idea how I felt? Falling from grace, made your goddamn maid, having to suck up to you. Do you have any idea how infuriating that was? Or did you think I didn't know anything? Did you think I didn't suspect anything? If you did, then you've got your head way up in the clouds. So you were motivated by your grudge against my family, the Brazzatis. Precisely, that's exactly it. Your father wanted so badly to be the Capo Famiglia, wanted so badly to be in power, that he murdered my dad and grandpa. They say it was a carriage accident, but the ground was all torn to hell where it happened. You want to tell me what kind of carriage accident causes it to explode? As soon as my dad and grandpa died, your dad took over as Capo Famiglia. The balance of power in the factions began to change. My family and anyone with ties to the Campanellas was either exterminated or exiled. The Brazzatis took control of the city. My grandpa's Tosca became your Cosca. No one in their right mind would have been naive enough to think the Brazzatis didn't have a hand in that. The great Campanella family, bitten by their pet dog. Except the dog had rabies, and as a result in time that lush historic ground would wither away and die. My dad and grandpa, buried in their dried up earth, are screaming in their graves right now. You can't even prove me wrong, can you, Jacopo? And now, first in line to be the next Capo Famiglia is you, his son. Naturally, feels pretty good, doesn't it? Slaughtering my family, and even a sort of wallow in the mud, while you live here like a fucking king. Because of what your family did, I don't have a home to go back to anymore. No house, no prestige, I have nothing left. And that's goddamn outrageous. The Campanellas are supposed to run that city. But instead, you filthy Brazzati curs are crawling all over it like some sort of infestation. I am a legitimate Campanella, but I'm stuck being your goddamn maid. If I had been born a woman, I could have become the Capo Famiglia after my dad and grandpa died. But because I'm a woman, I was absolutely miserable. Wait, what'd she say there? Hold up. Oh, shit. What'd she say? I couldn't retaliate, I just had to sit on my hands and watch the tragedy unfold. So I had to make you suffer as well. I had to make you I had to make you twice as miserable as I was. You had no reason to... You had no reason to hate anyone but me. Why did you make her a part of this? Did you have some sort of grudge against her too? Not particularly. I actually rather liked the madam. Sweet, pretty, kind-hearted, timid, and fragile. Trusted every word I said. A splendid little toy. You thought of her as your toy. Now, can you really call me out for that? You can't. You have no right. You never cared one bit about anyone else. They're all footstools to you. It's a little too late to find yourself a sense of morality. This whole thing, it could have been avoided if you had just had a single conversation. But instead, the both of you come crawling to me saying, "You're my only ally, Maria." How dense can you be? Of course, I thought you were my ally. I trusted you as I'm sure she did too. Then you need to get your eyes examined, because you can't see a goddamn thing. Maria. Oh my god, it was beautiful. The way you two blindly trusted me, created your own misunderstandings and causing your own your own pain. How can you never see there? How you could never seem to get on the same page, watching it all fall apart. Maria, is that everything? The extent of your grudge and all you did? Yep, that's everything. And all that's left is for me to kill you. Hold still now, I wouldn't want to miss. Maria, you! Does our past mean nothing to you? Was our oath just an empty promise? How could it when you remember so clearly? Fine, I'll explain it for our little romantic boy. Bad grown-ups will even take advantage of good memories. It's time I finally return this to you, Jacopo. That cartridge you gave me packed with your disgusting sentimentality. Yeah. Killing you ain't the end, though. All you besotted curs, I'll send every last one of you straight to hell. My revenge has only just begun. Even if you had been a man, you wouldn't have been a suitable capofamiglia. You should have aimed between my eyes, Maria. Jacopo. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh god no! Jacopo is a quick shooter. Why? Oh god. In the panic, I pulled the trigger, and from the barrel a bullet went flying. Quite literally right between her eyes. Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? The rain just keeps on coming. Wonder if he'll be able to go home today. Hey, Jacopino! Say something, little wuss. But be quiet. You're gonna give me a headache. The lightning's way louder than me. Eek! Ah! You jumped, Jacopino! You're such a baby! You jumped too! Stop calling me that! Don't be scared. Don't cry. I'm not crying. Your eyes are there too. I'm not crying, not at all. Not one bit. Liar! There's no end to this rain, is there? I'm fine if it doesn't stop. There's nothing at home for me. You don't want to go home. Oh, my nose. Your parents ought to get along, huh? That's got nothing to do with it. Liar. You've got it good. Everyone loves your grandpa. Whenever anyone needs something, they come to him. Now there's a great man. Huh? How'd my grandpa become part of this? Oh, no reason. Not everyone likes him. He gets just as much hate as love. Grandpa's not really a model citizen. He's mostly just shrewd. Are you jealous? I'm not. My old man is, though. Huh? Is he now? Well, your dad's got his good points too, I think. Like, I don't know. He seems like the kind of man who can accomplish big things. Though he seems a lot stricter than my grandpa. Oh, come on, I don't get you. What are you coming up for? No reason. If you don't want to go home, then how about we go somewhere far away from here? Huh? Once it stops raining, let's get out of here. Head up to the capital, find some work. We can make it work for two of us. Oh, and we'll bring Nero, of course. If we could, that would be nice.
break free of this city and its outdated traditions. Head somewhere bigger, more forward-thinking. If only it were possible. It's alright, Maria. I know you were just joking. We wouldn't be able to find work anyway. If the two of us ran off, we'd be starving in a month. You'd have to be blind to see that. Right. Let's go home once the rain lets up. Yeah, once it does. But until then, I know, let's sing. Sing even louder than the lightning. Then maybe you'll stop crying, Jacopino. I am not crying! Ah! Come on, let's sing. La 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 lero la lero la lero la lero la lero la lero la 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 lero la lero la lero.
Okay, I'm not doing all that. Maria, I may not put it into words, but I trust you understand that I consider you a dear friend.
Listen to me, Jacopo. My actions were justified. I did what I did for the betterment of this city, this land. The Campanellas are too conservative. Under their control, this country will atrophy. Progress will continue to lose steam. If we don't push forward, we'll fall further and further behind. Before long, you will be made the next Capo Famiglia. But until that day, you will cross over to the New World and establish the Cosca there. Unify us, bolster us, make us strong. I'll handle things back here. I won't let the Campanellas try and strike back. What? You want Maria to? It's dangerous to keep a Campanella so close by. She has to be taken care of. If you insist, but do not let your guard down. Betrayal is a constant companion in this world. I'm giving you my revolver. Keep it on you at all times. Glory everlasting upon our blood and upon this earth.
The best I can give you is a job as my maid. If I show you any more obviously preferential treatment, the Bizzatis are liable to step in. Money, power, respect. Frick. And enough authority to not take orders from anyone. I thought that if I could obtain all that, I would be able to give you your freedom. Oh, my nose. Whew. And her as well. I wanted to give you both comfortable lives. But none of that got through to either of you. Everything is slipping through my fingers. Love, my friendship with Maria, both of their smiles.
Master! Master! What was that sound? Eek! So much blood! Maria? What happened this time?
You keep getting stuck witnessing the worst things.
What? What?
Call a doctor. Someone with tight lips. Do not call the police. And don't make a scene. Got it? If so, then go on.
Yes, sir.
Right. Not everything has slipped from my grasp. My money and influence are all that's left.
That is what you wanted, though, is it not? You sought money and power, no?
Aren't you going to go?
Yes, I will. But first I'd like to ask you something. What do you intend to do from here?
What am I gonna do? Exactly the same as before. There's but one thing for me to do.
I see. Will you eventually find solace in your riches? The way I see it, money and power can be your ally, but they can become your enemy in the blink of an eye. If you do not put them into words, your feelings will never make it through to anyone. For unlike money, humans are not measurable by their appearance. He failed to communicate to anyone what he held within his breast. He was chained down by his place in society, his pride, his relationships, and his own heart. And at some point, he found himself in a position where he was no longer able to speak his mind. After enough time, he likely forgot how to be genuine at all. Or perhaps someone like him simply would not, even if they knew how. In any event, there are many things in this world that cannot be communicated without being put into words. How sad that his tale should end without him expressing how he truly felt. How hard it must have been to never clear up his misunderstandings. After Jacopo's confrontation with Maria, the Pacific Railroad was completed as scheduled. Celebratory cheers shook the new world as the last spike was driven into the rails. Jacopo, however, could not even manage a smile listening to the telegraph. And I'm sure you can take a guess as to why. The people with whom he wished to share that moment with were not there. Shortly following her death, Jacopo held a private funeral for Maria. Then, he commenced a search for the white-haired girl. But he did not do so alone. He hired others to help, did everything in his power to find her, tirelessly searching for many, many years. However, he was never able to locate her, and he spent the remainder of his life alone. Money, power, renown, servants. The world around him was always quite lively, but solitude was his only companion. He waited, and he waited, and he waited for the white-haired girl to return. The years crawled by, and with no family or loved ones at his side to care for him in old age, he died alone.
There we go. Pig Iron Manor completed chapter 3. The door before you slowly drew shut. You could no longer hear the raucous sounds of the men from within the den. The faint scent of cigarette smoke, however, lingered in the air. Staring vaguely at the door, you noticed something was amiss. The maid who had been holding your hand was no longer at your side. You glanced around, but she was nowhere in sight. Down the corridor stretched only darkness. Not having anticipated this, you were unsure how to react.
What's the matter? You lost or just trying to take in the sights?
A voice called out to you, but it was not the maid's voice. Caught off guard, you spun around, confused in search of the source.
Where are you looking? I'm over here. Yeah, there you go. A little more to the left.
Following the voice's instructions, you found yourself facing a wall.
You look like you've just seen a ghost. Hey now, come on, don't turn away. Yep, you got it. I'm the one talking to you.
The voice was coming from within the painting. When you had passed by this wall on your way to the third door, a magnificent landscape painting had been hanging there. But now, the canvas was a deep shade of black, as if it had been dipped into a vat of ink. Oh, it's a man.
Been a while since I talked to anyone. So tell me, you can hear me all right, can't you? Splendid. Been so long since I've had a conversation, I was afraid I might have forgotten how to talk. So tell me, who might you be? You don't know? Well, isn't that quite the pickle? Then how about we have a little chat, eh? You got yourself turned around and aren't sure where to go, yeah? Well, I'll be happy to tell you anything I can. Just ask away.
The painting sounded rather high-spirited. Perhaps he was simply excited to have the opportunity to speak with someone. So you decided you would ask the painting a few questions. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay. We're saving here for sure. Ooh, okay. Who is the maid?
Might as well ask it that directly. But she won't say till you've regained your old self? I see. Well, in that case, if you want to know, you gotta do it. You know what you gotta do. It's entirely up to you whether you make an ally or an enemy out of her. There's no guarantee she's even right in the head. You never know. Maybe you're not the only one who hasn't found themselves.
Alright. Who am I? Ooh, who am I? What is this place?
Oof. Talk about some hard-hitting questions. I'm probably not the one who'll be able to answer that for you. I don't have a very deep connection with this mansion, you see. I swear it. I got nothing to gain from lying, do I? It's my regrets that turned me into this. I wasn't summoned here by no one. That said, there is one thing I can tell you. This place summons people. People who have ties to something that happened long, long ago. No one knows anything even happened. I didn't know either, till she told me. Though I haven't the foggiest idea of if it's true or not. Are you here? Because you were summoned by her? Or did you come here of your own will to find someone? If you came here of your own volition and you weren't summoned by her, then mayhaps you'll be the one who can break.
Who am I?
Just because you don't know who you are doesn't mean you can go around asking other people. I'm not a person, you say? Well, no, you're right. But I'm not going to know anything about you that you can't tell me yourself. I mean, from where I'm standing, you look almost like a walking cloud of shadow. I can't even tell you what you look like. The maid who was with you before, did she call you Master? I see. But the question is, which era's master are you? How many doors have you been through? 3 doors, eh? And of those, did any of them bring anything back? Well, it's not an easy thing recovering yourself. Maybe you weren't behind any of those 3 doors. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That was your first time witnessing those tragedies. Yours is another door. So tell me, how'd you feel looking behind those doors? Was it frightening? Saddening? Heart-wrenching? Well, let me tell you something. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. If the next door you open is yours, will you be able to bear it? Will you be able to accept your own tragedy? It's one thing seeing others suffering, but your own. If you have to face emotions you wanted to keep buried, secrets you wanted to keep hidden away, and pain you wanted to forget, do you think you'll be able to accept them as your own? If you can't, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't accuse you of running if you chose not to reclaim your old self. Nothing wrong with erasing your memory of something if it was so bad you didn't want to face it in the first place. Let it be rewritten as someone else's story. That'll make it a whole lot easier on you. 'Cause you never know. The most unfortunate tale of all may well be your own. Or perhaps that goes for everything about you. You won't know till you see it? Well, that's true enough. But once you do, there might not be any turning back. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. If it turns out you're someone from behind the next door, then perhaps you're my...
Who are you?
Me? Well, as you can see, I'm a painting. Why did I end up as a painting? Hard to say. Maybe I was reborn as a painting because I used to really like art, though there are things I painted that I wish I hadn't. Maybe that regret's what turned me into this. Hopefully I get the chance to apologize to him about that. Anywho, no point in getting into any more detail like that. It wouldn't mean anything to you, so enough about me. Oh, right. You don't know anything about yourself. A shame that. Alright then. A favor for you since you can't tell me about yourself. If you run into him, could you tell him I really regret what I did? I know I should tell him myself, but, well, as you can see, I'm stuck here. Can't move an inch, so I've got to ask for help. I feel absolutely terrible about painting that picture.
I know, yeah, the deadline's way past on that one, but that's what makes it regret, yeah? Because you can't take it back. By the time I'd realized it was too late, he was already dead. He's long since passed away. Huh? How are you supposed to give a dead fellow a message? Well, for all I know, the dead could be wandering these halls too. So please, if you come across him, tell him I said that I didn't mean any harm with that painting. Or maybe you are him. Haven't talked that much in a long time. Feels great. And now that I've got that out of my system, I should be able to get some good sleep. You're probably still wandering in the dark right now, but I really hope you find the outcome you want. And I mean that. You can either reclaim your old self or you can toss it aside. The choice is yours either way. Now, since it looks like your escort isn't showing up, what do you plan to do next? How about taking a look around the place since you've got a little free time? Could be you come across something you wouldn't with her around. Oh, right. If you're going to go exploring, I've got the perfect thing. Stick your hand into the canvas, would you?
The painting was still wrapped in an impenetrable darkness. A perfect, all-consuming void. The man had told you to put your hand into it. You. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. We really haven't been presented with options throughout this whole thing. This is like a first. Alright, we're saving again, obviously. Alright, let's do it. Reach our hand in the frame. You extend your hand for the painting. The moment your fingertips brushed against the darkness, it swallowed your entire hand up to the wrist.
No, not there. That tickles a little to the right.
As the man in the painting had instructed, you groped around the inside of the darkness. Before long, you felt something hard at your fingertips. Clenching the object, you withdrew your hand. Your arm was still intact. You spread your fingers, and there you found a key.
That tickled. With that key, you can access the master bedroom. A while back, she tossed it into me. The damned litter bug. Yeah, it ain't mine. Don't worry about giving it back. However, I bet there's something worth seeing in there if she felt the need to toss that key. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get some sleep. You take care. If you happen to learn my name, come pay me another visit, should the fancy strike you.
Having said that, the painting fell quiet. In your hand lay a small key. It seemed rather antiquated and vaguely familiar. Silence once again drew over the corridor. You stood there alone, no sign of the maid. After considering it for a few moments, you decided to explore the mansion on your own. Oh shit. Okay, hold up. We're gonna go ahead and save. Yeah, I'll go ahead and... There we go. Alright, so what do we have to choose from? I'm not gonna, just to let you know, I'm not gonna choose now. I'm gonna save this for next episode. But we got the entrance, the fireplace, the den, the rose garden, the cellar, the library, stained glass window, the master bedroom, or call for the maid. So I am curious, obviously, because this might be one of those things where it's like legitimately, you know, if whatever option you choose is permanent, or it could be like that conversational topics where it's like, you know, eventually it'll whittle it down to like this small few. But we're going to explore that next episode. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So we're going to go ahead and return to the entrance here. Alrighty though. So some big things happening. Honestly, out of all the endings that we had, this one is probably the most tame, the most mild. The first ending was, again, this like horrendously incestuous bullshit. Where the sister goes crazy, the other girl had her hair chopped off, and you know he's heartbroken, yada yada yada. Obviously the second one, fucking the beast, right? So with this third one, we have a much more mild ending. Like, kind of. I mean, obviously Maria was killed. which I kind of expected either Jacopo or Maria to be killed by each other. The white-haired girl ran away, which is one of the better endings for her. Let's be completely honest here. A lot better than the Beast ending. And I mean, yeah, he just died alone, which is kind of like a theme for a lot of these, you know, in a very weird way. I don't know. I do not know. I mean, it was definitely interesting. Like, I had to say, I think out of all of them, I don't know. How would I put this into words? Basically, what I'm trying to get at is this. In the first story, the adversary was simply just, like, twisted jealousy. Right? Twisted love and jealousy. The second one was also twisted love, but also, you know, he was fucking literally insane. He was like an actual sadistic, like, monster. And then in this third one, it's just, you know, miscommunication. Well, yeah, with jealousy. Jealousy's a big theme in these. Jealousy and miscommunication. I mean, on both sides. Jacopo was jealous of, you know, other men going after the white-haired girl, and Maria was jealous of Jacopo for being in the position for being in a position that she feels is rightfully hers. So, and another thing, that painting kept mentioning a she, and I don't know if it's referring to the maid. It could be, but it did kind of feel like there was a distinction between when he was referring to the maid versus when he was mentioning specifically she. So it is possible that he's referring to the maid, but maybe there's another she. Maybe it's referring to the white-haired girl. Who knows? And it does bring up a good point. Who are we? Who's the maid? Because that's kind of the thing that I've kind of been toying with, just kind of hinting at for this past chapter here, is that who is the black-haired maid? Like, is she trustworthy? Is this, like, because obviously, instinctively, playing the game, it's like, okay, well, this is the first character you're introduced to. This is the one who is guiding you through everything. So, okay, she must be somebody trustworthy. But like he said, does she even have her shit together? So, that's a big question still. But that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when I knew one of the videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.